All right. Let's see, testing 1, 2, 3. All right. Nothing's coming. Okay. See, testing. All right. Let's see, testing 1, 2, 3. All right, Baruch Shabbat Shalom to the House of Israel, all those that have joined us on this Shabbat. And just having a little issue with audio. So I'm not sure if actually the primos were actually heard. So if you all heard that our intro, let me know. Press 1 if you heard the intro. If you didn't hear it, press 2. Just want to kind of I'm gonna go back and re-listen to the stream after we finish. For some reason I don't think that the audio came out. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see something here. Let's go into my settings right quick. I think that's what happened. Okay, let's try that. See if that works. Okay. Are we getting sound now? Okay. Let's try that. See if that works. Okay. We'll try this again. We're getting sound now. Oh yeah.
Yes, it is. Whoa, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Okay, let's try this again now. Shabbat shalom. Baruch Shabbat to everybody. It's a little delayed on your end. But Baruch Shabbat, everybody. Prayerfully, you all had a good week. We have a discussion today I want to talk about, and I want you to invite. I want it to be interactive because I want to make a series out of this. I want you to invite any opposition that you may have. Invite, some of our brothers and sisters have husbands and wives that are not fully convinced that we are the descendants of the nation of Israel, the children of Israel. And I want you to invite them in because I want some feedback from them. So this lesson that we're going to talk about is very relevant in the time that we're in now. You're trying to evangelize, trying to reach out to your loved ones, your family, friends, and even some of your enemies. And so I kind of woke up early this morning with this thought on my mind. I said, let's just talk about it, because when we're trying to evangelize people into the covenant of Yah, we have to know what frame of mind people may be in when we approach them, right? So this title of this lesson today is called "Why Do Many Christian Apologists?" And we know that every Christian is not an apologist, but they are indirectly, right? They would be apologists because when they hear something that they don't comprehend, if they feel like that they have the ability to refute or to rebut it, they'll interact. If they don't feel like they have any input to kind of refute it, they'll just kind of avoid you, right? So the apologists, the ones that actually embrace the title apologists, they're the ones that are not afraid to confront. And they always confront Hebrews that are teaching something that they really feel like that they can refute. Most of us that teach about the laws of the Most High with the comprehension, but the ability to be able to expound on it, they won't have a discussion with us because we're on a different level than, say, a person who don't really know how to explain the law of Yah. And so that's one of the reasons why I think it's good for us to know the thought process of our loved ones and friends who we come in contact with. I have friends people that I kind of grew up with in the ministry. I was ordained in the Church of God in Christ, and it's like people that I thought were really strong defenders. They're not really apologists. They're just Christians. So every Christian doesn't fit in the same category. Every Christian is not an apologist. They just, when they hear something, like I said, they don't know how to defend it, so they just kind of avoid having a conversation with you about it, right? So even some people that are in our circle now are not really apologists. They're Christians. They might say some things, but they really don't know how to defend the doctrine that from the scriptures that we teach pertaining to mainly the laws of the Most High Yah. Shabbat Shalom. Who's that? Aaron? Aharon? So let's Shabbat to you, my brother. Let your family, friends know that this is a must session that they must listen into and offer. I welcome feedback on the subject, right? So now, if you're coming in and you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. And Baruch Shabbat Shalom to you, my brother. Henri, good to see you, my brother. We made it through the storm, and was the next hurricane. Ernesto is going out to the sea, so that's the second one that's coming through. But he's not going to hit us. Well, who was it? Who was it? Who was it that we just came through? What was it? Debbie, Hurricane Debbie. We just came through. So probably all you are well. You made it through the storm. I know in California, some people had flooding out that way. I saw some Florida, Sarasota. So we pray for all the family that were impacted by the storm. Okay, so now I just wrote a couple things down, and if you know reasons why, if you know any reasons why the Christians, and I won't just limit it to apologists, but the title says apologists, but if you know reasons why any Christian, whether it be a family member, a love member, attack or avoid Hebrew Israelites, please comment your experience, and I'm gonna add that into this lesson. So you're gonna kind of help me to do this. I have some references I'm going to use. I probably won't get to them today, but I'm going to do the best that I can. I want to kind of try to see if I can play a couple of clips too for your viewing, so that we can kind of address this. Baruch Shabbat Shalom, Brother G, to you and Coach K. And it's good to see you. I see you. See you, a textologist. I get your texts. I'm just not. I'm not a text person. And so when people text me or send something, I generally don't respond unless they call me. But I did see your text, your chat you sent me. Lion Pride, my brother. Shabbat Shalom to you, my brother. This is a lesson for all those that are uncertain, right? So if you are unsure, we got some Israelites, people that have left Christianity are still not sure. They just know what they've been. You all right? Mm-hmm. They just know what they've been learning in Christianity has some incomplete. I'm trying to say it without being tactful or offensive. Has some unsoundness. That's a good way to put it, right? And so when they hear something that sounds complete, that makes sense. I don't like to use that word because sense is really not really. We shouldn't be living by sense, but it's, what's the spiritual word to say? It's discernible. I think that might be a good way to put it. It's clearly discernible, because that's what we want. We want to be. We want to have good spiritual discernment when we hear something, not intellectual sense, because there's a lot. It goes from Hebrew Israelite teachers that teach from an intellectual perspective, but what they're saying is not spiritually sound. That's a good way to put it. Spiritually sound, right? Or scripturally sound. You know, it sounds it feels right, but it doesn't spiritually sound right, right? So my heart, my passion is that I, I have in my whole family, in my bloodline family, I really can't say that I have anyone in particular in my bloodline family besides well, she's not my bloodline, my wife's not my bloodline, but that really, really have crossed over into the covenant. And that's not an attack against my family. That's just a statement of fact. Probably because most of the time that's why I'm doing this lesson, because they may see this beginning portion of this, they may not. Some of my brothers and sisters watch and try to learn. Okay. Try to learn me, figure out where I'm at. So your friends might be trying to figure out where you are. So why do many Christian apologists attack Hebrew Israelites, right? So I just wrote some things here. So if you have some points, help me out. Give me your thoughts. Shabbat shalom to you, Elias Stone. Good to see you, my brother. Pray all's well with you and the family. We had a heat wave yesterday. I know it's hot out there in Las Vegas. The past 2 days has been a heat wave. Okay. So I have 5 things that I pointed out, and this is not an all-inclusive list. Is just some things that I put down why, from my experience, why Christian apologists or just Christians in general attack Hebrew Israelites. First on the list I have is that they as a whole think that anyone who is not a Christian is lost. Right? They think that anyone that is not a Christian, I'm gonna try to do something here right quick. Okay, let me see something. Let's see if I can do this here right quick. All right. Let's try to see if I can do this here. I want to try to be creative. Okay. Just bear with me a second here while I try to. Okay. So here you have on this picture, you have Kenneth Copeland next to, I don't know who this is here. I don't have his name. He's a pope of some sort. And so these are people like, let's see if I can pull some other pictures up here. Okay. So they feel like that we need to be evangelized. We're lost, right? Okay, I don't know where these coming from. There you go. Evangelicals, right? How many of us have seen these people on the streets with signs, right? Oh, what's this here? Let me see what this is here. 10% evangelical by belief, 18% self-identify as evangelicals. Midwest, 15% evangelical by belief, 29% self-identify as evangelical. Northeast 5% evangelical, but I believe 13% self-identified evangelical. South, you got 23% evangelical, but I believe 31 self-identified. So yeah, so South basically you have a lot of people down on the southern portion of the United States that are labeled as, they even have in Maryland. So Maryland's we live in Maryland here. Maryland is an evangelical, although they don't. You have different types of evangelicals, right? You have the white evangelicals and you have the black evangelicals, right? We're gonna do a study in the near future on the Christian church, right? Um, so the thing is that the evangelicals have this belief that we're lost and we need to be saved. Now, I used to once believe that we was brought to America because we were barbarians and we was worshiping idols and idolatrous and all of that, and so the transatlantic slave trade was a beautiful thing. They brought us to America, they civilized us, they cleaned us up, and they gave us salvation. So now we have a better way of living because it was part of the plan of God, as they would say, to save us from ourselves. So that is number one, that they think that we're lost. And many of us believe that the reason why we had to embrace Christianity is because we're lost. Elephant Man, Shabbat Shalom to you, my brother. Good to see you. So that's number one. And I also stated that that they believe that the Christians believe. Let me show you my notes so you can see what I'm looking at here. So Christians believe that as a whole we are lost and we're on our way to hell, right? Remember, who was that used to teach that? Was that Jimmy Swaggart? You remember Jimmy Swaggart, right? How many of y'all remember Jimmy Swaggart? I'm gonna put him up on the screen so y'all can see Jimmy Swaggart. He's this is a very notable image right here. Let's see. Where's this? Okay, let's put this up on the screen here. Okay, that's Jimmy Swaggart. And so Jimmy Swaggart was one of the people that was very, very known for evangelical, I can't even say it, the evangelical ministry, Jimmy Swaggart, right? So now, of course, you all, if you wasn't involved in Christianity, you wouldn't know that Jimmy Swaggart went through allegations of infidelity with his wife, so it kind of impacted his ministry. But Jimmy Swaggart came out of the movement called the Assemblies of God, which was a splinter group off of the Church of God in Christ. Many of you didn't know that, but Shabbat Shalom to you, my brother Yahweh Ben Israel. Many of us did not know that the Assemblies of God was a break off from Church of God in Christ because they didn't want to be under black leadership. That's in the history of the Church of God in Christ. We learned that when I was ordained. So then you have, in addition to him, you have people like the very famous what's his name? Oh my goodness, Billy Graham. I don't know why I drew a blank. Billy Graham, right? Everybody familiar with Billy Graham, right? Okay. So let's just put him up on the screen here. This is Papa Billy. And so Papa Billy was very notable in evangelical movement. And so many of street evangelists, right, at one point in time was connected to Billy Graham. He was one of the biggest white evangelical leaders, right? And then his son was a guy by the name of Greg, I think Greg Laurie. Let me see if he's still out there. I know Billy Graham's son took over his movement, but is it Greg Laurie? Yeah, Greg Laurie. Okay, let me bring him up on the screen here. Look at Greg. So you're gonna learn a little something today about Christian church history. Okay, let's see. Here's Greg right here. Okay, let's bring this one up here. This is Brother Greg Laurie, right? Another evangelical. He was second in command, I guess, to Billy Graham as far as to the evangelical movement. And so basically it was the people like him. Of course, we can't leave out Oral Roberts, and oh, you got your. Let's see. Let's put this one up here. This is when he was young. This is young Oral Roberts, right? That's Oral Roberts. Can't forget about him. He was very instrumental in the evangelical movement. And I'm not going to go too far back with other people, but you have Oral Roberts, you have Kenneth Hagin. How many of you ever heard of Kenneth Hagin? Most of you Christians that are in a word of faith or non-denominational or interdenominational, Kenneth Hagin is your spiritual father, right? This is Kenneth Hagin. Okay. So that's Kenneth Hagin. So a lot of people that call themselves word of faith churches, non-denominational churches, this is the spiritual father. Yes. You don't know who he is, but I guarantee you somewhere in that tree of that evangelical movement, somebody was connected through him. He's the one that started that name it and confession and all of that. You say what you have, speak it and say it, right? That's him. Then you have I'm taking you down the road here. So let's see. This was not part of the lesson, but I thought I would do that. I thought it'd be interesting. You got Bill Hammond. Everybody, I'm sure those that haven't come through that circle come through the prophetic movement. You got Bill Hammond. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's use this one here. Okay. He's got a couple of different ones. This is from him. He's younger. Let's see. He's older now. He's an older man now. This is Bill Hammond right here. So you got Bill Hammond, right? And through him, you got people like the prophetic ministries, like all your people, like what's the guy named Bishop Bloomer and all them people, Bloomers, right? They are indirectly some kind of way connected to the prophetic movement, right? I know about this many years ago. I knew about Bill Hammond many years ago, right? A lot of people, prophetic churches came through his school. Okay. So basically, these movements, right, were they spurred out during the time, and I don't want to get too much get too deep into this because this is going to be in my book, so I don't want to kind of spill the beans too much. But in the book I'm writing, we'll talk about that turning of time when the Great Awakening started in the 19th century. And it was during that time when the Great Awakening started that a lot of these evangelical movements in America birthed, because that was an attempt to prevent the Israelites from returning to the covenant. Right? So we were indoctrinated by Christianity to prevent us from returning to the covenant, to end the Gentiles' reign over us. Right? Now, most of us, my beloved friends that are Christians, when they go home and they talk about the oppression from the system. Now, let me just say that every so-called white person, Gentile, doesn't have any power. So the ones that we have issues with are the ones that are in power. You know, your common people that are of other ethnic groups that work beside you at work, they're not your enemy. But the enemy, their enemy, have made them think that you are, or they are your enemy. But the enemy, the real enemy, is the ones that's calling the shots up on the top. They're the real enemies, right? To own someone, to enslave someone, you had to have the resources, you had to have the wealth. It's just like most people believe that a lot of white people own slaves, which is not true. To say everybody that white had a slave is like saying everybody in America has a car. Right? There are more people that don't have cars in America. As many cars as we see on the road, there are more people in America that don't have cars than there are that do have cars. But we wouldn't believe that, because when you on the road driving, you think, oh, everybody got a car. Everybody don't have a car. If that was the case, it wouldn't be, Uber and Lyft wouldn't be such a successful business, because a lot of people don't have cars, right? So every white person didn't own a slave. They couldn't afford to own a slave. They didn't have money to own a slave. So why be angry with somebody because of their skin color, right? So that's one of the reasons why apologists attack Christians, because a lot of the Hebrew Israelite doctrine is ignorant. It's based off of their emotions and not based off of sound doctrine, right? To say a so-called white person is the devil or is Esau is not scripturally sound at all. But because of emotionalism, we embrace that as truth, right? Okay. Maury Josiah, Shabbat Shalom, my brother. He said it's pronounced evangelical. Let's see. So, now, so that's number one. I haven't got them other points. Okay. So Christians, for the most part, think we're lost, on our way to hell, right? Now, I'm not going to do a lesson on these points, but hell doesn't exist as a place. Hell as a state does, right? And when you are given, let me just say, we were talking about something in the car. Me and my issue was talking about something in the car. When you are made to believe that because you don't pay 10% of your income, you're going to be cursed, you're already cursed. Because most people that feel obligated by their pastors that pay, if I don't pay this 10%, I'm going to be cursed. But you really can't afford to pay it because you just living above your means, you just barely making it. Or you went through a crisis. So you feel like, if I don't pay them tithes, I'm going to be cursed. Right? You're already cursed. So you are told that you're on your way to hell when you're already in hell. Okay? So Christians, they teach that Christians are lost and on the way to hell. I mean, non-Christians are lost on the way to hell. So if you're a Hebrew Israelite and you're not a Christian, You're lost and you're on your way to hell. Okay. Where can we find that at in the scriptures? That because you're not a Christian, you're lost on your way to hell. Okay. So you're lost on your way to hell and you need to be evangelized or saved, right? How many of us have family members and friends that believe that you're not saved because you embrace the Hebraic covenant? You're not saved. You got to get saved. Or somebody say, I got saved, brother. You did. Number two, they are informing unlearned Christians, right? These apologists inform unlearned Christians that they put the label black on it. Black Hebrew Israelites is a dangerous cult that needs to be stopped. So think for a second. If your pastor is teaching you that black Hebrew Israelites is a cult that needs to be stopped, and you're not questioning the validity of that, you're not questioning where this belief comes from, why do you say that? All you're doing is you're hearing your pastor say over his pulpit that black Hebrew Israelite is a cult. So since he's my pastor and my pastor said that they just put the label on us all and call us black Hebrew Israelite, that black Hebrew Israelite is a cult, the pastor, he studies the word. I'm not strong in the word, so I'm gonna believe what my pastor said. My pastor said that that black Hebrew Israelites a cult. So who are you gonna believe? You're gonna believe your pastor, right? So these apologists, basically, that's what they do. They inform the unlearned Christians that the label black Hebrew Israelite is a dangerous cult that needs to be stopped, right? Now, I already addressed that, but what are some of the reasons why they say it's a cult? Because we teach, not we, but the ones that they come in contact with teach that the white man can't be saved, right? That the white man's Esau, he's a devil, and all of that, right? And so now it makes our effort up evangelical Hebrew evangelical ministry become stagnated because people already have been informed that first thing they want to ask you, how many of you have been asked the question, what religion are you? You start talking about the scriptures and they say, what religion are you? Right? Shabbat Shalom, Coach Sherry. Good to see my sister. All the time they used to tell me to find a church, go back to church. Now I hear nothing from, which is a good thing. Yeah, because they think you're in a cult. That's why they're not gonna say nothing. They don't want to confront you. And when they stop talking to you about it, they're already convinced in their mind you're in a cult and you're not reachable. As far as they're concerned, you're in a reprobated mind. All right. So they informed the unlearned Christians that black Hebrew Israelites is a dangerous cult that needs to be stopped, right? Because of teachings of things like so-called Negroes teach that white man can't be saved, that white man's the devil, and white man's Esau, right? And some Hebrew groups kind of reaffirm what they're saying, and then some Hebrew groups teach that you need to be away from your biological family, right? Isolation, right? Okay. But in Christendom, they do the same thing that they say the Hebrews is doing. What fellowship have darkness with light? So it's the same thing, but if you make a decision that you're not gonna go over to their house during a Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, you in a cult because you elected not to be around them on a pagan festivity, right? So you in a cult when you do that. But you dare invite them over to the house for, say, a Pesach meal, or invite them over for uh, a Pentecost, or any of the fellowships that we have, right? Oh, we don't. That's under the law, right? No, we're not under the law, right? Okay. So now, uh, number three, I have they have been indoctrinated, right? Because that pastor has indoctrinated them to believe what he says from the pulpit. So if the pastor says something, it got to be right because he's my pastor and he knows. He's a man of God. Or in some cases, she's a woman of God, right? So pastor have indoctrinated you to believe, right? And if anyone speaks against the Trinity, oh my goodness. If anyone speaks against the Trinity, they are false teachers, right? Anyone speaks against the Trinity.
Trinity or rapture,
Yeah.
going to heaven.
Right. So rapture's kind of fading away, but I'll put that in there. Okay, dying and going to heaven. That's spelled it right. I spelled it wrong, but she gonna correct it for me. Okay, there you go. DY. Dying and going to heaven. Right. The fourth point is that they fear what they don't comprehend. Right. So I kind of alluded to that already, but most of the time, a Christian that's, as they would like to say, a baby Christian or a new convert, understand what a Hebrew Israelite is. So they will avoid you or be afraid of you when they see you. It's like they saw a ghost. They might have a discussion with somebody about, Bronte, she used to be an elder. Now she's in that Hebrew Israelite cult, and she walk in the door. They like they saw a ghost. Did I say something wrong? No, they was just talking about you, and they was shocked to see you walk in. How you doing, Bronte? Putting a false face on, right? So they fear what they don't comprehend. And the fifth on the list is there are many others, but fifth that I have on the list is that uh, they had a bad encounter with a radical group. So you see videos like that on YouTube where let me see, I saw one earlier. Let me see if I can pull it up. Where the sister was saying she almost fell for a cult. Let me show you my screen here and show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so this you have here. This is the ringleader, right? This guy right here. This is Vocab Malone. And then over here you have this sister here. This is Sister Titus. She's another. Uh, she goes under the label of Christian Apologists. Titus Jones, I think that's her name. Okay, but I want to show you this one particular sister. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. Uh, oh, here's a recent one. Let's see. All right, let's do this here. Okay, I was going to show this one sis, but this one just popped up here. So let's put this on the screen here and see what's going on with this one here. Okay, let's listen. This is my first time seeing it, so I don't know where the sister's going with this, but let's give her an opportunity to see what she's saying. But this is the thing that's going on, right? This is the reason why, because somebody came in contact with a group, and because they came in contact with the group, they want to lump us all into and tell everybody that, you know, Hebrew Israelites a cult, right? So let's play what the sister's saying here and see what we can get out of here. All right.
Y'all, I'm not gonna be long before you today. At least, yeah, that's not what I'm trying to do. Forgive me because I'm a bit disturbed because this is fresh. This is a fresh wound. And as we all know, I have been going through my healing journey. And like, you would think no more would happen right now and I would get a break in life and be able to just go through my journey without more things happening to like test me. But unfortunately, that's not the way that life goes. So my balls have been tested. My heart has been tested. I think I did pretty good this time. So I had to cool off because in the heat of the moment, I was pissed the off. I was pissed. So I basically was sent to hell on yesterday. So first I was called, I'm getting off the trolley to go make a little quick stop before I cross back over here in Tijuana. I'm figuring I'd get a couple little American treats, you know, some things you miss that you go without for a while. And so, you know, I'm gonna stop at the store right quick. I was already kind of debating if I had really wanted to stop and I was gonna just wait and, you know, wait a little bit longer. But I got out. And then you got your little purple man out here preaching. And the dude got me over. So they got the ones off to the side preaching. You know, they got their little crowd of their own little people or whatever. Then you got your person off to the side who's trying to get people like me to come over to actually hear them, what they got to say. And how he got me interested, or, you know, got my attention at least, is what he said, do you know what tribe you came from? Or sister, do you know who you are? And, I mean, at least grab my attention or whatever. And I'm like, you know, really wasn't trying to get into that and really wasn't trying to go that where I was like, not too sure about all this, you know, but, you know, I don't mind hearing people out. I have heard of these group of people.
Okay, so we already can tell she's talking about IUIC. She said the purple guys, and she says they want to know if she know who her tribe was, right? So that's pretty much tells us who. The thing is that when you are trying to come into truth, it's about hearing not what I have to say, hearing what the scripture says, right? So she's already a babe coming in. You can see that now. And that's where a lot of people get twisted. But let's go back and hear some more of them.
People before, and they have come to me before, but I have never heard of people like this. I have never heard it to this extent. I have never experienced it like that. And I'm the type of person, I don't classify my personal experiences with either a group of people, a race of people, or a certain religion, or a type of people. When it comes to the people, I don't be like all the people like that. When I was talking about the Haitians, when I was talking about my experience with Haitians, I wasn't saying all the Haitian people. I can't classify all of the people of it because of my experiences based upon 2 or 3 little. Whoa! Jesus, I'm trying to keep the words of peace. And not what I seen yesterday.
I'm gonna interject here. That's why emotion. Somebody comment, which is very, very prolific. That your heart is. Somebody said, who said that your heart is deceitful? I don't see the person that commented it. Maybe it was somebody commented. Somebody that's not signed in. Because whenever you see that restream bot, it's somebody that's just watching anonymously commented. But Angel. Oh, the YouTuber was Angel. Those teachers are false. Okay, here, yeah, somebody, Angel said, your heart is deceitful, right? So that's the first thing I tell a person. You can't make emotional, heart-led decisions, right? Because we're supposed to make sound decisions, right? We're supposed to make a mental decision, not an emotional decision. And when you make an emotional decision, your emotions, heart is deceitful. Your emotions can go back. That's what the word in Hebrew, Shammai, means to hear intelligently. Know what it is that's required of you, not what you feel. Intelligence. Your mind has to comprehend why Yah said don't do a certain thing. But when you into this thing because you feel it, right? That's the reason why some Israelites that's in Christianity will never leave Christianity, because Christianity is a religion that caters to your emotions largely. You have some that are not, but largely, as a whole, generally speaking, most Christian, especially Pentecostalism, is a feel-based spirituality, right? You feel left out because you come in that church and you see everybody operating in the 9 gifts, people prophesying and people laying hands and casting out devils and all that. Look at what's the guy named from Chicago, Marcus Rogers, right? He's a prime example of that, right? Talking about how he casting out devils, stuff like that. Pastor Dow, he kind of brought that emotionalism from Christianity over to the Hebraic movement. He's always talking about casting out devils, stuff like that. So you can't be in the truth because of what you see and what you feel. That's why people mess up. They embrace the covenant based off of what they feel, not based off of comprehension, not based off of Shema, hearing Yah's word and comprehending what Yah is saying. It's not feeling based, right? We go through the syndrome, I don't feel saved sometimes, right? Okay. Let's see where the sister's going though, because she's going through a whole lot of stuff here. Let's go back in.
Is that the very people that they were complaining about, the white man and his tactics and beating us, the slaves and turning us into slaves and all this, the same thing the white man did that they were so angry about on yesterday, those same tactics is what they use on me. You got me over there on some clickbait. Then when I went over there, you wasn't talking about nothing about that. You told me, okay, ma'am, we talking about this right now. You kept somebody else is reading out the Bible. Another guy was standing there next to me. You got on him, and he stood there. I could tell he had been standing there listening to y'all for a minute. So you got into his business and you asked him about do he got a girlfriend? Are they married? Why they not married? When he was gonna marry her? And he like,
Wait a minute. That should be the basis of you embracing the truth. No, none of that has anything to do with the covenant. That has to do with their camp doctrine. And she fell for that because, first off, when we talk about the captivity that we're under, Hebrew Israelite 101, right, is this. We are in captivity because of disobedience, not because the white man had power over us or any other of the other nations, right? We point out these nations we're going to talk about in this series. We're going to talk about the Portugal slave trade, the Spanish, the Dutch, the French, the Germans, right? The British. We're going to talk about these people, the five, right? That is classified as the hand of Yah, right? Yah used them as he spoke through the mouth of Shemaiah that my hand will come against you. 5 fingers on one hand, right? We went into captivity not because the Gentiles were stronger than us, mightier than us, greater than us, anointed of the Most High, any of that. It's because of disobedience. So, therefore, we don't teach a doctrine of hatred, right? And I heard Nathaniel say on a video clip, I might play it. He said, we should be praying for judgment. I said, wait a minute. Is that what the Most High told us to do in captivity? Pray for judgment on our enemies? We go to the book and we'll show you the book. That's wrong. You know, you teaching your whole movement, you creating a movement of people that have hatred towards a race of people because we're not accepting what it says. Let me give you some scriptures on that right quick. Okay. You come back. We're not accepting what the scripture says, right? This is how we refute and we deal with people like her who don't know how to, who first off, you come out of Christianity, they not teaching you how to rightly divide the word for yourself. You come and be spoon-fed by the pastor, and whatever the pastor say, that's what it is, right? But if we go to Leviticus 26, right? Let's see, what verse did I want? Okay, that's it. This is Leviticus 26 and 41. All right, let's go there. Leviticus 26, 41. Let's read verse 40. You going to read for me? Mm-hmm. All right, Leviticus 26, read verse 40 and verse 41.
If they shall confess their iniquity,
right,
and the iniquity of their fathers,
right,
with their trespass,
right,
which they trespassed against me,
right,
and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them,
right,
and have brought them into the land of their enemies, right. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity,
read next verse.
Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land.
That's good. So that's what the Most High said. So now we don't have the right to be angry with anybody.
It's something we did.
So if she had a good teacher, they would point that out. You're not pointing the finger right? Because we doing the same thing that Adam did in the beginning. When the Most High told Adam, don't eat of the tree, rather than him saying, I was disobedient, I ate the tree, he blamed the wife, the woman that you gave me. So we as Hebrew Israelites in the lands of captivity, we're not accepting the punishment. We're not doing what he says, confessing our iniquity, right? We got doctrines that we teach in the different camps that we don't have to obey all of the law. We just obey the 10 Commandments. That means that we have not accepted, we have not confessed our iniquity. Iniquity is transgression of the law. You can't separate Moses' law from Yah's law because it's all Yah's law. Yah gave the law to the nation through Shemaiah, Moses. Okay? So when you want to embrace part of what Yah gave us that was supposed to keep us unified as a nation and a strong nation, and you want to take parts of that, the part that you like, or the part that you comprehend, and push the other to the side, now all of a sudden, you create your own. What did Paul say? Paul said, my desire for Israel is that they might be saved. Right? For they have, let's just read it real quick. What's that, Romans 13, is it? Okay. It's not 13. It's 11, is it? It's 10. It's 10, right? Romans 10. 10 and 1.
Just that one verse.
Yeah, read through 4.
Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Yah for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of Yah, but not according to knowledge. For they, being ignorant of Yah's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Yah.
Right.
For the Mashiach is the end of the law, for righteousness to everyone that believeth.
Right. So he's not the end of the law. That's a false translation. He is the goal of the law. If you look at that, the goal of the law, and even the Greek tells you, set out a definite point or goal. See, we know goal is not the end. End means terminated, right? But the goal of the law is righteousness. What is righteousness? Right? Following what Yah said. Righteousness is Shema. Not following your pastor, not following your teacher, your moray, not following your rabbi, whatever title, that bishop, deacon, whatever title they choose, but it's following what Yah said. Man shall not live by bread alone. That's what the Messiah said. But by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yah, of man live. He's quoting what the Most High spoke through the mouth of Shemaiah, the lawgiver, right? So, in comprehending that, that's what we should be teaching our people, not to be angry at any ethnic national group. Because when we teach hatred towards the so-called white man, we give the apologists ammunition. Salvation is for all those.
And even we were warned of that in the scriptures. It said, forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles that they might be saved.
Right.
Who said that?
That's good. I'm just, something just came in my mind just quick. Let's see. Okay, let's go to Paul real quick. While you pulling it up, I'll read it. So this is Romans 3, right? it says, but now the righteousness of Yah without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. Right? That right there seems like it's contradictory. The righteousness of Yah without the law is manifested. Okay. Let me explain that real quick. The righteousness of Yah without the law. In other words, the law is to be written in our hearts. So when we walk in righteousness, which means in right standings with Yah, right? We manifest the law in our deeds. I think that's what Paul's trying to say there. Okay. Being witnessed by the law and the prophets. That's what he's saying by saying that. So I've kind of reiterated what he was saying. Verse 22, even the righteousness of Yah, which is by faith of Yahshua, or faith like Yahshua. That's what it should say, because of is not in the Greek text. So you have the word pistis and you have Yahshua, right? Or Yahusha. Pistis, Yahusha, right? So in other words, when you say the faith like Yahshua, that's what it should say. Because what Yahshua did, he was obedient. In all points. He was tempted, but he was obedient. So righteousness of Yah, which is by faith of Yahshua, not having faith in. See, these little additive words add confusion to the text. I could say faith in, that doesn't say faith in Yahshua, right? That's what we're taught. That's the Christian doctrine. Righteousness is by faith in Yahshua. It doesn't say faith in Yahshua. We make it say that. It says faith of Yahshua, and the of is not even there. It's added by translators. So faith, right? And if you look at the word pistis, it actually explains what I'm saying. It says persuasion, credence, moral conviction of religious truth, of truthfulness of Yah or a religious leader, especially reliance upon the Mashiach for salvation, abstractly constant in such confession, by extension, a system of religious gospel truth itself. Right. So faith is being convicted. Paul said somewhere in another place, he said, be followers of me as I am of the Mashiach. What did the Mashiach do? You know, Christians say, WWJD, what would Jesus do? What did Yahshua do? Did he obey the commandments or not? So if you're supposed to have the faith of Yahshua, then you're supposed to do what Yahshua did. Mm-hmm. Not say he did it for me. Because you're reading and you're adding a doctrine into the text that the Messiah never told you. He said, they asked him, what must I do to inherit eternal life? Yahshua said, keep the commandments. He said, just believe in me. He said, keep the commandments, right? We'll read that in a second, all right? Did you find that passage you want? Okay, even the righteousness of Yah, which is by, okay, or through, there you go, which is through credence, Yahshua, the Messiah, unto all and upon all them that believe, for there is no difference. See that? So, he's saying upon all. So every nation of people, right? Every nation of people will be classified as an all. The sons of Noah, right? Shem, Ham, Japheth, they will be classified as being all, because he said righteousness of Yah, which is which is through the belief of Yahshua. That's what it is. So through the belief of Yahshua. In other words, you believe like Yahshua believed, unto all upon them that believe. Because how you know you believe? Yaakov, where James said, faith without works is dead. So if you're not working what you say you believe, then you don't have the faith of Yahshua. You just have a thought process. You have good intentions. But when you walk in obedience to what Yah said, you are walking, you have faith through Yahshua because you are walking the walk that Yahshua walked.
Zeal and new knowledge.
Right. He didn't die so you can go to heaven. Right? He died to end the contract of the Levitical priesthood of Aharon. And some Hebrew Israelites don't get that. You're still looking back at Aharon, the tribe of Levi. When Yahshua came to terminate the sons of Aharon to reinstate the kingdom as a kingdom of priests. Right? All right. So, salvation, he says, upon all them that believe, for there is no difference. So who is the all? Okay. All, any, every, the whole. So when you say upon all, that means everybody that choose to embrace the covenant, right? Now, where you taking me?
First Thessalonians.
First
Thessalonians 2nd chapter.
First Thessalonians chapter 2. All right, go ahead. Where at? 16?
That's kind of in the middle, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
I can
just
read that one verse.
no. Where you at? I just saw 16. That's why I said.
I can start at 13.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead and read.
Verse 12, that ye would walk worthy of Yah, who have called you unto his kingdom and kabod.
Right.
For this cause also thank we Yah without ceasing, because when ye received the word of Yah, which ye heard of us, ye received it not as the word of men, but as it is in truth, the
Right.
word of Yah, which effectually worketh also in you that believe.
Right.
For ye, brethren, became followers of the ecclesia
Right.
of Yah, which in Judea are in the Mashiach, Yahshua. For ye also have suffered like things of your own countrymen, even as they have of the Yehudim.
Right.
Who both killed Yahshua and their own prophets, and have persecuted us, and they please not Yah, and are contrary to all men,
Right.
forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles that they might be saved, to fill up their sins always, for the wrath is come upon them from the uttermost, upon them to the uttermost.
That's good. Forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles. Who forbid us to speak to the Gentiles? Yahshua didn't say, don't go to the Gentiles. Only when he was on the earth, because his mission was to reestablish the priesthood. But then, after that, he told them go into all the world, not only to the Israelite world, go into the world, which is all. Every man, we just showed you, Paul clarified what Yahshua said when he said, all men. Right? So the sister has gotten caught up into her emotions because she didn't have a teacher, or she didn't seek. Because let me say this too, you can seek the Most High, well, he'll bring clarity to you, even if you might not have a local teacher. If you seek the Most High and ask him to reveal to you in the scriptures, not just give me personal revelation, show it to me on the page. Right? I was going to say, show me the money. But show me on the page where it says, because we hear a lot of voices. But as Israelites, we are constrained to follow documentation. See, the legal court system is like the word of Yah. Anything you say as a claim has to be documented for it to be authentic. So if I say Yah said and I can't show you in documentation, it won't hold up in the court. You can't go Yah say, Yah, I told this person this, that, and the other. And Yah said, where is it at in the word? You get quiet, you hear crickets, right? You hear crickets, right? You run out of things to say because you done told the Most High. You told somebody the Most High said, but then you can't pull up no receipts. They're not obligated to believe you if you can't pull up no receipts. So, like Judge Julia say, right? She'll say,
Just a second.
and then she'll say what?
I don't believe you.
Why? Because if you don't have the receipts, she don't believe you. So as when we going to evangelize Christians, we can't say stuff that we don't have receipts for. We can't give people our camp doctrine because we can't prove to you that Esau is the white man. Right? And furthermore, whoever Esau is, if he's white or not, is irrelevant because in Leviticus the Most High said we went into captivity not because of Esau, but because of our disobedience. That's what we should be teaching the people on the street corner. You eating that swine. You going to that church on the first day and violating the Shabbat is why we in captivity, not because of what the enslavers did. Yah prophesied to the nation and told us that if we disobey his commandments, you're going to go into captivity. So if we obeyed the commandments and kept the commandments, it was nothing that the enslavers could do. Because Yah would put their hedge around us to protect us.
Yep.
What you got to say? Now watch this here. We're going to go back to the video. All right, Isaiah. I think of that where I want. Yeah. 56. Isaiah 56. Right? And we're going to read 56 and 1 through 8. Right? So these are the things that we should be teaching our Israelites to comprehend, not hatred towards any group of people. We teach facts of what happened, right? And we break the mold because some of us have a stronghold because it's been pushed into us. We've been indoctrinated with it, but we can't see the scripture from what it says at face value, right? But we have to be able to see it at face value. Okay, so Isaiah 56, 1 through 7.
Thus says Yah, keep my judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Blessed is the man that doeth this, and the Son of Man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of the stranger that have joined himself to Yah speak, saying, Yah have utterly separated me from his people.
Right.
Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree.
Right.
For thus says Yah unto the eunuchs that keep my Shabbats, and choose the things that please me,
Right.
and take hold of my covenant.
Right.
Even unto them will I give in mine house and within my walls a place and a name better than of the sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to Yah to serve him and to love the name of Yah, to be his servants, every one that keepeth the Shabbat from polluting it, and taking hold of my covenant, even them will I bring into my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar. For mine house shall be called a house of prayer for all people.
All right, now let me break some stuff down. That's good reading. Let me break some stuff down. The sons, right? That's Ben or Bane, as some like. The sons of the niggers or niggers. So we are called niggers in outside of captivity, right? But to Yah, we're not niggers, but to the nations, we're niggers. This is what I brought out in the lesson before. Somebody asked me that. So they are the true niggers to the covenant. When we return to the covenant, don't become niggers no more. We're niggers right now because now that we have embraced the covenant, we're no longer niggers, right? And nigger is a Hebrew word, which the Latin word is nigger, which means black, right? But the original Hebrew is nigger, or they had naka, which means a foreigner, or a heathen, right? See that? So we were foreigners to European Christianity. That's why they call us niggers. Not because they spoke Latin. They wouldn't want them Europeans didn't speak Latin. They spoke a Germanic dialect of Anglo-Saxon language. There's no Latin in that. So maybe somebody along the line knew this word nigger, meant a foreigner, or a heathen, right? Okay. Just a little something over here somewhere. All right. Sons of the stranger, right, that join themselves to Yah. So the stranger, the niggers, of the nations that are not congruent to Yah's code of ethics or Yah's laws are niggers, right? That join themselves to, okay, so that's lava, to twine, to unite. So the strangers that unite, right? This word here, al, which means above, over, upon, against, right? Yah. To abide, no, it's a sharath. To attend, right? Abide means to serve. To tend is another word which means to attend as a menial worshiper and to contribute to, right? So these strangers, they intertwine themselves to Yah to do what? To attend, right? Or they're attending to his law. The strangers join themselves to Yah to attend, to serve, right? And to ahab, to have affection, the name of Yahuwah, right? To be Hayah, his servants, abed. See that? So now this servant is abed, a servant, right? And this one here is Sharath. We got Sharath to serve, and this one's servants to abide men, right? So when you're a servant, you don't make up your own laws. It's like a police officer. Police officer is a servant, right? Police officer is a servant of the municipality of whatever jurisdiction they're under, whether it be county, whether it be state, whether it be federal, right? Or townships, right? So they don't make up the laws. Their job is to enforce the laws. So when you are a servant of Yah, you don't make up the laws. You don't create the laws. You don't twist the laws. You don't say, oh, you don't have to do that. If you give them a warning, you have to find it in confines of that municipal protocol, for lack of a better way, right? You can't make up your own law. That's why a police officer can't pull you over, because it's recorded. Every time he pulls you over, it's recorded. Now he got to answer to his superior. What did you do with that vehicle you pulled over? I wrote him a warning. They pull that person's documentation and find, oh, they had 3 warnings. So you actually you're gonna have to be reprimanded, because you're only allowed to give them 3 warnings. You gave him a 4th one, right? So he had to write you a ticket because it's recorded, right? So those strangers that take hold of the covenant are now servants of the law of Yah. They can't tell you not under the law, because they got to answer to Yah for what they did when they pulled that person over. That pastor, every person that he told you don't have to obey the law of Yah, going to have to answer to Yah for that in the day of judgment. All right? So, just thought I'd bring it out. Now, anything you want to add? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just looking at verse 8, when it talks about when we are gathered, the outcasts of Israel are gathered.
We didn't read it. Go ahead and read it.
Mm-hmm.
So read 7 and read 8. I think we started at 7.
I read
6.
7.
You read 7?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you did. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yah, which gathereth the outcasts of Israel, saith, yet will I gather others to him beside those that are gathered unto him.
Right.
So when we are gathered from the 4 corners of the earth, the outcasts, in that gathering is going to be others.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
of other nations, tongues, and tribes that came under, the covenant.
Mm-hmm. That's 59:21, which agrees with the strangers. What verse it is? I saw that same word, the same Hebrew word.
Yeah, why is he talking about others if
Right.
if it's just the nation of Israel?
That's right. So yeah, so to your point, exactly. Yah said he would gather the outcasts, which is the word pushed down, away of Israel, and says he would gather others to him, right? Besides those that are gathered with him. So kabats, to grasp, that is collect, assemble selves, to bring together. And how we know that's true? We read, I think on the last Shabbat, we read this, I think. Let me just pull this out. We're going to get back to the video. The sister, she's helping us out here. Okay. Jeremiah, that's the one. Jeremiah 31. This is before we get to the new covenant. That's how we know this is during this day. Jeremiah 31:27.
That one verse.
This confirms what you just read. All right, go ahead. 31:27.
Behold, the days come, says Yah, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Yehudah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast.
So you can't have. So you got Israel and Yehudah. That's the whole nation. He said, I'm going to sow them with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. So we got some people that is sowed among us, and in the mixture of the sowing, you have wheats and tares, and the mixture of the sowing of the seed, right? Okay. Now remember, let me just go back here, because this should be Hebrew Israelite 101 stuff, right? Go back to Genesis, the original, because something we have to keep reiterating to those Israelites that's coming into this truth, that this is not the Israelite covenant. Right?
Yep.
This is Yah's covenant. He said it in that passage we just read, they take a hold of my covenant, even though mine wasn't in the Hebrew text. But from the contextual perspective, he's talking about Yah's covenant, right? If we go to Genesis, right? '17, right? And we're going to read verse 12. Verse 12. And 13.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you.
Right.
Every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or
Right.
bought with money
Right.
of any stranger which is not of thy seed.
So stop for a second. So Paul missed it. Because you got some Israelites even teach that Gentiles not supposed to be circumcised. So how do you explain this one here? If he told Abraham to circumcise every man child, right? He is born in your house, and he that's bought with money of any stranger, right? Let's see what this is here. Bane means the son of a nigger or stranger. So the son of a heathen stranger, right, has to be circumcised. All right, read verse 13 now.
He that is born in thy house,
Right.
and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised.
Right.
And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
Aha. See that? Whose covenant is it? Yahuwah's covenant. It's not the Israelites' covenant. See, that's where we get misinformed. We are under this belief that it's the Israelite covenant. It's not even Abraham's covenant. It's the Most High's covenant that he made with Abraham. And Abraham couldn't change it. He said, here, I'm the scribe. Most High, you do this, and this is a sign of the covenant. You circumcise every male child who's bought with money, who's born in your house, and a stranger, right? So if they want to come under this nation to serve me, this is what they got to do, right? But the world comes, so we don't have to do that. Just believe in Jesus. Where can we read that at? Please show me the page where we read that. Well, Paul said, okay, that's where you went wrong. Paul was adopted the law. He comprehended the law. So some things Paul said, he was talking about something that most of us don't have any comprehension of, right? All right. So he that's born in the house is bought with money needs to be circumcised. And my covenant, right? Berith. That's why it's called berith, which is a cutting, right? Where there is no blood, there is no covenant. Shall be in your flesh, right? Basar, flesh from its freshness, body, person, right? Pudenda of a man. That's clear. Oh, that's clear. Let me bring back the screen. It's just, okay, I didn't show you what I was looking at, okay? Right? Arel, expose. Let's read this one here. 14. I don't think, you didn't read 14, did you?
And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant.
Mm-hmm. So if that man-child whose flesh, to be clear, of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. Why? Because he had broken my covenant, not the Christian covenant, not the Israelite covenant, not the Abrahamic covenant, but Yah's covenant, right? He broke Yah's covenant, right? So now, our beloved sister, if she had a good teacher, she wouldn't be in this position she in. Because if the pastor that she from the church that she was attending was teaching her, she would still be there if he was teaching her truth, soundness. But we can see the sister is caught up into emotions, as many people that come into this truth is. They're won into the truth by emotion and not won by sound doctrine. That's why I could never leave this walk, because I have been convinced, right, through sound doctrine that this is truth. You can't prove to me that this is wrong, because you can't show me anywhere on the pages of the book where Yah's law is done. We'll take you to 1 John. I'm going to go back to the video here, right? So I guess this falls under the point. Why? Because they don't comprehend. They fear what they comprehend. That's point 4. Point 3, they have been indoctrinated, right? They have been indoctrinated, right? So we're going to undoctrinate you. Because if you can't read it in the word of Yah, we're going to show you in the second half of the book that the world calls the New Testament that it doesn't change, right? So let's go to James, right? First, not James, First John. Yeah, you knew what was going in.
You said it.
Oh,
But you didn't say where. Right?
okay. Let's see. Okay, First John. First John 2. Okay. First John 2. And we're gonna read 1 through 6. 1 through 6. This is the Messiah. I mean, not the Messiah. This is the disciple of the Messiah saying this, right? So that's what we know is right, because this disciple of the Messiah saying he's first-handed. He got this from first-hand information. This wasn't passed down the generations, all right? So 1 John 2:1, what does it say?
My little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not.
Right.
And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father,
Right.
Yahshua the
righteous.
Mm-hmm. And he is the propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world.
Mm.
And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
Read that verse again.
And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
One more time.
And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
So how do we know him?
If we keep his commandments.
So if we don't keep his commandments, what?
A liar. You don't know him.
We're not under the law, though.
Me.
Because didn't Paul say we're not under the law?
Mm.
So it's a contradiction, wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. So we are under the law. Because if he said you don't keep his commandments, then you don't know him. All right, go ahead.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
Right.
But whoso keepeth his word,
right,
in him verily is the love of Yah perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also to walk even as he walked.
Right. That's what the Messiah taught. Right? Now, you can try to say, I don't mean that. Who cares about what you think it means? It's self-explanatory. He said, if you say you know him and keep not his commandments, right? Okay. So what's the word for commandment? Right? Intole, injunction, an authoritative prescription. Right. It's an authoritative prescription, what the Most High has prescribed, right? The wages of sin is death. What is sin? Okay. Let's go further into First John and um First John 3, the next chapter. And we're going to now, just so you know, I wasn't skipping the next few verses in First John 2, where he said that a new commandment I've written to you. Love is not a new commandment. And how do we know it's not a new commandment? Because the Most High told him to love him with all thy heart, with all that, and love thy neighbor as thyself. Right? So that's not a new commandment. So sorry, try something else. And I can prove it to you. I can show you in the book of the law. I'll tell you what I do. Hold that thought. Right? Remember, we're gonna go with First John 3, right? So I like documentation. We going to the court. We're going to Judge Judy, right?
Just a second.
All right. So let's go to Leviticus. And is it Leviticus I want? Let's see. Hold on a second. It might be. Okay, 19. Leviticus 19. All right. Okay, 19 and let's start at 15 through 18. 19, 15 through 18. All right. 19, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 15 through 18. All right.
Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
Right.
Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor,
Right.
nor honor the person of the mighty.
Right.
But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
Right.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer
Right.
among thy people.
Right.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor.
Right.
I am Yahuwah.
Right.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Right.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke
him.
thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Right.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Right.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahuwah.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. Right? So love is not a new commandment. Now we can say where he said love Yah. So this is Deuteronomy, okay? Deuteronomy. We're going to read 1 through 5, right? Deuteronomy 6, chapter 6, verse 1 through 5.
Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah your Elohim commanded to teach you, that
Right.
ye might do them in the land whither you go to possess it.
Right.
That thou mightest fear Yahuwah thy Elohim,
Right.
to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged.
Right.
Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it might be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as Yahuwah, as the Elohim of your fathers have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey.
Right.
Hear, O Israel,
Right.
Yahuwah our Elohim is one.
Right.
And thou shalt love Yahuwah thy Elohim with all thine heart,
Right.
and with all thy soul,
Right.
and with all thy might.
Right.
And
That's
these
That's it. See that? You shall love. So love is not a new commandment. Right? All right. So love is not a new commandment. Right? We just proved it. So for those, go ahead, we gotta take a break. Go ahead. For those that agree or that don't feel like the love is a new commandment, we just debunk that by showing you that love always was. Because how many times have we heard people say there was no love in the law, right? Okay, I'm not going to spend more time on the love topic because I could go all day long on that, showing you love all in the law, right? Let me see. Okay, I can't see that. Let me see. I'll pull up. Let me go here and then I'll look at the comments. Okay. If you go to Deuteronomy 23 for all of the Esau's, the so-called white man, this is one that you're gonna have to eat and chew on, right? You're gonna have to eat and chew on this one here all day long, right? Deuteronomy 23, and we're gonna start at verse 2. Okay, and we're going to read to 8, 2 to 8. All right, 23 and 2 down to 8. Okay.
A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of Yah. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of Yah. An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of Yah. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of Yah forever, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way, when ye came forth out of Mitzrayim, and because they hired against thee Balaam the son of Beor of Pethor of Mesopotamia to curse thee. Nevertheless, Yah thy Elohim would not hearken unto Balaam, but Yah thy Elohim turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because Yah thy Elohim loved thee. Thou shalt not seek their peace nor their prosperity all the days forever. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of Yahuwah in their 3rd generation.
Now, okay. So you're not supposed to hate. That's what that word abhor means, right? To loathe, to detest. So when these camps are on the street corner spewing out hatred against so-called white man that they call Esau, if in fact the so-called white man is Esau, you are in error to Torah. And you're teaching your congregants to operate in error.
It says right there, for he is thy brother. Verse 7.
Right.
It says, don't hate an Edomite. He's like, he's your brother.
So that's the doctrine of error. We know he's not Esau, but if he was, and you because your doctrine is teaching he is, so you're teaching your people to error by hating, by spewing out hatred towards, if he is Esau, he's your brother. So if the so-called white man is Esau, then the so-called white man is your, watch this now, covenant brother. Because he's Abraham's seed, right?
Yeah.
He's born in his house, right? I'm just saying. We got, and then, those that have this hatred, they had to change the doctrine because the Egyptian or a Misri, right, is a Hamite. So we had to include some of the Hamites now in the covenant because, after all, right, he is permitted to enter into the congregation, right, in the 3rd generation. Right? Right. So what is it?
Houston, we have a problem.
We have a problem indeed, because the camp is teaching Esau can't be saved, but here we see in Torah it's saying the Edomites can, and the Egyptians, Mizraimites can enter into the congregation of Yah in the third generation. So that's the reason why the so-called apologists won't have a discussion with those of us who know Torah and operate in Torah properly, because they can't refute that. Right? So things we're showing you in this lesson, right, they can't refute because we're showing you the receipts. Right? Now let's go to 1 John 3. We left off at. We actually didn't read it yet. But I just wanted to go. Okay. Start at verse 1. 1 John 3 and 1. Right? And read down to 5.
Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of Yah. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not.
Right.
Beloved, now are we the sons of Yah, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be.
Right.
But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him.
Right.
For we shall see him as he is.
Right.
And every man that hath this hope in him purify himself,
right,
even as he is pure.
Right.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Right.
And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin.
That's good. So sin is what?
Transgression of the law.
So we're not in the law, and that means that there can't be no sin. So Christianity got some explaining to do, because why would you? I don't know if you still do it today, but when we were coming up, preaching would preach, and then they'll have an altar confession. Anybody here want to get saved? Come down to the altar. Do they still do that in the churches now? They probably took that away now.
They do.
Come down, confess your sins.
Not many people are coming to your churches.
What sins are you confessing if we're not under the law? That's what I want. That's the question I have for my pastor friends. If you're not under the law, what sins are you confessing? Drinking is a sin. Where? Using profanity is a sin. Where? Dancing is a sin. Where? All the things that the Most High says is a transgression of the law is not sin. So you can eat swine. You can lace the collard greens with fat back and turkey butts. I mean, not turkey butts. They're starting to get smart now, though. They're starting ham out. They're starting to get smart now. They're starting to cook the collard greens now with turkey butts now and stuff. But a lot of people are starting to change. Not attributed to following the law of Yah, but because for healthy reasons, right? Okay. So now, tell you what I'm going to do. It's 11 o'clock. I don't think I'm going to get back. So I'm a synopsis here. We're going to continue on part 2 next Shabbat. What I want to do is I want to. So our sister here, we got this sister. We're going to finish with her, not today. This sister over here, Sister Charisma, right? Know she has IUIC, right? All these people that, it seemed like to me, IUIC had to go back to the table and find out why is it that all these people that's doing videos some kind of way down the line is connected to IUIC or one of the One West groups. You very rarely hear somebody who was in sound doctrine come on and do a video and say, I found out that the Bible was false and that we're not Israelites. So therefore I left. Most of the time it's always associated with the One West group when you see videos like this. Right? So let's open her up in another page. I think I'm gonna do a mural. I have some time in between my time to kind of look at some of these videos and address some points. So she's one, and then okay, wait a minute, 1 second. Let me go back here. I got, who is this here? This is Vocab Malone. And then we got on this one here. This is the Casual Historian, right? His video says the Black Hebrew Israelites briefly explained. See, the interesting thing about this is that these people want to talk about Hebrew Israelite, but they don't want to go and invite me on your show and ask me questions about Hebrew Israelite. You want to know what better person to invite on the show than somebody who will answer your questions that you might have, right? Here's another video. The Black Hebrew Israelites, the origins of Afrocentrism. I'm gonna look at that one. That's a year ago. Let's open it up in a new tab. Okay. Here is Mike Winger. What's up with the Black Hebrew Israelites? He's got Alan Parr with him. I think I have that one here. You have Dr. Michael Brown, The Line of Fire, right? You got, y'all know who that is. What's his name? Eric Mason. Okay. And then you have okay, I don't see nobody else on here. But you just basically, all you had to do was just put Black Hebrew Israelites in the search engine and all this stuff will pop up. For some reason, all my people, the Titus again. Let's listen to her real quick. This will be the last one we'll play, then we'll close it out.
People be like, you believe Hebrew Israelites is a cult? And I do. Because it is a cult. It's a religious cult, period. There's no evidence. Descendants of the transatlantic slave trade are related to the Israelites of the Bible. So what Hebrew Israelites try to do is use Deuteronomy 28 as a DNA test. I don't know who this is for, but Deuteronomy 28 is not a prophecy. But let's say it was a prophecy. Y'all still don't fulfill all these prophecies. Deuteronomy 28:52 says,
they will besiege you within all your gates until your high and fortified walls that you trust in come down throughout your land.
what walls were besieged? 28:68 says,
The Lord will take you back in ships to Egypt by a route that I said you would never see again. There you will sell yourselves to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one will buy you.
last time I checked, African slaves weren't selling themselves. Folks were selling them. And people bought them. And when did we go back to Egypt? Because I got questions. Most Hebrew Israelites will tell you we was on literal ships, but we went back to metaphorical Egypt to be literally sold again. It don't make sense. People be like, you believe Hebrew Israelites is a cult? And I do. Because it is a cult. It's a
Okay, so she's silly to me, but hey, these people get paid for attacking the Hebraic movement. I saw a video. I'm trying to remember. I think it was what I did with it. It was a video where the guy was telling people how you can expose you can expose, I forgot how it goes, the Hebrew Israelites and get paid. I'm gonna put that in my notes to pull that out next week. So I want to look at some of these comments now. Let's see. Okay, let's go back into my comments here, and let's see. Let's go back. Let's see. Oh, let's go back. I missed some stuff here. Let me see. Okay, so I left off with Angel. She says that teachers are false. What makes a teacher false is the fact that they go out. They do we call baking a cake, right? They take one verse from here and one verse from there, one verse from here, stir it up, and make a doctrine. That's like making a cake. That's a cake doctrine. Making a cake doctrine. A little eggs here, a little salt there, a little pinch of this there, a little vanilla extract, a little butter over here, a little cinnamon, little pinch of cinnamon here. We're gonna make a cake. We can put some icing on the top. We're gonna bake it, put some icing on top of it. On the icing, we're gonna make it. Butterscotch, rich butterscotch cream, icing on top of the pound cake, making your mouth water, right? Okay. Deanna, Shabbat Shalom, my sister. Good to see you out there in Las Vegas. Got to be about 115 degrees out in Las Vegas since it was hot here. Let's see. Hey, Yahweh's Ben Israel said that's why he wouldn't join a camp. Right. Well, the thing with that is that you join a camp, you got to be like them, right? A lot of the newer camps trying to use the 12 tribes chart still. Yep. As a matter of fact, I think just recently, I think it's a Sakari camp. They broke up, they split up, and another group started out of Sakari camp. Isn't that amazing? The One West group has so many splits. Every time turn around, they fall apart over this, that, and the other, and they start another group. Jorge Josiah said, "I'm doing his lesson today." If you type that verse, Messiah is the end of the law in Google, and AI response is end is translated as aim or purpose. So that's a confirmation of the Hebrew text. Exactly right. It's the aim or purpose or goal. That's correct. Very correct. Coach Sherry said deceitfulness just sick. All these lies to cover up the truth. Yeah. Brother G said, what do you think definition of religion, a set of beliefs and practices related to the issue of what exists beyond the world, generally including the idea of the existence of a being or a group? What do you think of religion? when you look at, Brother G, when you look at the word religion, and let me just do this real quick. How many times is religion in the biblical text? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right? 5 times. So first time is in Acts 26 and 5. And it's uses the word religion is not in the Hebraic text, which is suspect. We see it here. So religion is the word threskia. It's a ceremonial observance from thikos, ceremonial observance. So now you got to look up this phrase here, ceremonial observance. What is a ceremonial observance? A wedding could be a ceremonial observance. A funeral could be a ceremonial observance, right? So the word religion in this particular context, in this particular passage, is a ceremonial observance. A feast day could be a ceremonial observance. Observe. You can go back to the text and put this word observe in, and you'll see this word observe in the Hebrew text. But before I do that, let me just copy this. I'm gonna look it up for a second. So Galatians is the second place we see religion. Galatians 1 and 13 says what? The Jews' religion. So this time they use the word, Jews' religion is the word iodesmos. It says from to become a Judean, Judaism, the Jewish faith and usage. Okay. So basically, if we translate this properly into English from the Hebrew, it's not talking about a religion. It's talking about the covenant. So this phrase should say, in time past, in the covenant of Yah, how that beyond measure I persecuted the assemblies of Yah. Okay. So that explains that right there. I'm answering Brother G asked about religion. Okay. So the word in the Greek text, like I said, the word religion is not in the Tanakh at all. But here is the word Judaism. They translate Judaism, but it's actually the ways of the Hebrews, the Judean, the southern kingdom, because the northern kingdom never came back as a total nation. Some did come back, but not as a total nation, right? Okay. Then the next time that word, you go verse 14, it says, and profited in the Jews' religion, again, they have the same word, right? Iodemos. Iodemos. Mm-hmm. Okay. By definition, religion is an English word. So some people classify the Hebraic covenant as a religion, but under the definition of religion, it could be viewed as a religion, but it's technically not. It's like saying following the U.S. government, the Constitution, is not a religion. It makes you become a citizen, and you follow the laws, and you don't get caught, you're safe. I mean, you follow the laws, you're safe. But if you break the laws and you don't get caught, you're safe until you get caught. But that's not a religion. So the world makes the faith or the belief of the Hebrews of religion when it's not a religion. It's a citizenship of a national people, right? And others can become a part of that nation, as we read earlier, if they comply with the protocols, right? So the next time, James 1 is, if any man among you seems to be religious, that word is threkos, which means ceremonious in worship, as demonstrated, right? So this word religion is kind of like really, when you think religion, you think this is what I believe. So anybody can believe anything they want to believe, and that makes it a religion. But it's not about what you believe, it's about what the Most High has established as truth. So therefore, it's not religion, but man classifies it as religion because this is what you believe. It's not about what I believe, it's about what the Most High said as truth, right? We follow his truth, right? Now, to other people, we have religion because we're following something that's different in Christianity, right? Okay. I think I'm gonna give you some bonus information before we close out. Okay. Let's see. So verse 27 says, pure religion, they use the word threkos again, with ceremony observance, is defined before Yah and the Father, is that you visit the fatherless, the widows, in the affliction to keep himself unspotted from the world. So we're not to have a religion. That's an English word, right? The other thing is, I said observance is the word. Observe, to do. All this written in the book of the law. Okay, let's see. Let's just look at the one example here. This is Deuteronomy 5:32. You shall observe to do. Observe is the word shamar. To hedge, guard, protect, attend to. Right. So it's not a religion. It's like I said, I use the same word shamar and shamar. Shamar is like a police officer. Yah says this is it. As citizens of the kingdom of Yah, I like Miles Monroe. He breaks this down real good. He broke it down real good when he was living. Every kingdom has laws. So if you are part of the kingdom of Yah, what laws are you operating under? The kingdom laws, right? So when you take away the laws of Yah, then you take away the power of the kingdom, because the kingdom functions by its system of laws. So when you take away Yah's system of laws to the kingdom, then you have a kingdom that's full of chaos. Everything goes. Anything goes, anything, everything goes. It's chaos, confusion. Like there's no order. Okay. So the observation is the word shamar. So we're not called to a religion, we're called to a covenant. So next time somebody asks you what religion are you, tell them, I'm not in a religion, I'm in a covenant. And watch them run away from you because you're getting deep now.
Yeah.
Right? Are we called to a religion, or are we called to a covenant? Okay, let me go back up. Where was I at? So yeah, so no, we're not in a religion, to answer your question. That's my my view on that. Okay. Okay. Child of Yahuwah. Shabbat Shalom. Uh, and those of you that are tuned in, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Uh, we're going to do some. I'm gonna do some uploads more. Sometimes the streams kind of like I want to get more into doing uploads and stuff like that. Maybe some quick uploads, some quick things we'll do. So we'll pray about that. Maybe throughout the week we get a thought, because I kind of got my studio set up now where I can just sit and do something. I have my camera set up, but I think the camera's going to probably eventually go away. Maybe some live events maybe I will do, but I think the camera will probably go away for the most part. What's important is that you hear the word of Yah, not that you see who's on the screen. Child of Yahuwah, Kima. Shabbat Shalom, my brother. Good to see you. Eliah Stone said the worst part is they teach the law is done, but give you a new set of things to do. That's not done away with. It's a change, just like Daniel said they would. That's correct. Mara said, can you explain who is thy neighbor? Who is thy neighbor? So from the perspective of neighbor, I think in the King James they spell it different. But let's
I think we was reading Isaiah 56. When he posted that question.
Isaiah 56, neighbor.
Talked about the stranger.
Okay.
I think it is in there.
Okay. Let's see. It's spelled neighbor hour in the King James. Okay. You said Isaiah 66, you think?
56, what he was reading out of.
56.
It talks about the stranger.
Oh, it's the Leviticus where it said love thy neighbor.
Oh, okay.
That was Leviticus. That's what it was. Okay, so Leviticus 19, I think it was. Right. So from the context, that's where we get the meaning from, right? From the context. So according to the context of Leviticus, he's talking about the root word, the word neighbor here, it says amith, an associate or companionship, a comrade or kindred man. So in the secular sense, neighbor is not the person living next door to me. In like where we are now in lands of captivity, we're made to believe that our neighbor is the person living next door to us. But from the context of the Hebraic, the neighbor, as we just say, is somebody who is an associate or a companion, a comrade, or a kindred man. Somebody that's like a brother or sister in the covenant. So in this case, they were Israelites. In the context, they were Israelites that lived next to Israelites that were in the covenant, whether they be sons of Abraham or whether they be of other nation that embraced the covenant, right? So those are the neighbors. But say, for example, the Babylonians wouldn't be considered neighbors. If the Babylonian moved to Israel in a house next to an Israelite, but he was a pagan, he wouldn't be considered a neighbor. I make it make more sense. You had Canaanites in the land when Israel settled in the land. They weren't neighbors. They were residents or people that had already established or set up their own territories within the borders of the land of promise. So from the biblical context of this, that neighbor would be a person who is a covenant brother or sister that's walking in obedience with Torah. Okay. Now, if you flip that with Matthew's, right? Yahshua said, "Love thy neighbor as thyself." Who is thy neighbor? Yahshua, I actually answered that question. Let me see if I can pull it up. Is this the one I want? Let's see. Oh no, okay. I'm getting my. Yahshua said, "Who is thy?" That whoever that does the will of the Father. Oh, okay. Here it is, right here. Let's Luke 10:20. That's what it. That's what I was looking. I was looking for the red. This is Luke 10. Um, this is parable of the Good Samaritan. Behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, "Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?" He said unto him, "What is written in the law? How readest thou?" He answered him and said, "Thou shalt love Yah with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself." Right? So go to that neighbor again, right? And he said unto him, "Then has answered right. This do, and thou shalt live." But he, willingly to justify himself, said to Yahshua, "Who is my neighbor?" And Yahshua answered, said, "A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among the thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. So a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho. So this man who went from Jerusalem to Jericho was the covenant man. He fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him. Who are those thieves? More than likely, it's probably these Canaanite people that lived in the land that knew Israelites was blessed, and he robbed them, right? And by chance, there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side, right? And likewise, a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. So you got what? So you have a priest. The priest came by, saw the man, he kept going. You had the Levite, right? He passed by him. Then a certain Samaritan, and we know Samaritans were not Israelites. They were the people that the king of Assyria put into Israel and placed the children of Israel. That's in 2 Kings chapter 17. That's where we get that from. As he joined King where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, went to him, and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to the inn and took care of him. And on the morrow, it was Josiah's word, the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host. That's the hotel. What do you call those people? That's, and said to him, take care of him, whatever. He spends more. When I come again, I will repay. He says, which now of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? He said, he that showed mercy on him. Then said Yahshua to him, go and do thou likewise. So from a contextual perspective, what is a neighbor?
Show you love.
Right.
Love thy neighbor as thyself.
He kept the covenant. Those other guys didn't, because the law tells you how you're supposed to deal with a person who. So this was a Samaritan, was not a physical Israelite, but he came under the covenant and he operated under the confine, under the what am I trying to say?
The confines of the covenant.
The confines of the covenant, right? The other brothers who were Israelites, these were physical Israelites more than likely. They didn't follow the covenant.
The blind eye.
Hmm?
From the blind eye.
They probably looked at him and said, he a Gentile. Gentiles can't be saved. He was part of the One West Camp IUIC crew. All right. I'm gonna leave Nathaniel alone. I did say I could play a clip of him. Let me go back and see. Prayerfully, I answered that for you, my brother. Let's see. Where was I? I took my case down. Okay, let's see. Where we at here tomorrow? Let's see. Where are we at here? Let me go back. Listen, y'all interactively comment today. That's a beautiful thing. We don't usually get this much interaction. I love it. If you type, okay, I did that part. Deceitful, just sick. Religion, we covered that one. Shabbat Shalom, Yaston. The neighbor, mural of anti-messiahs. Okay.
Pictures that you were showing.
Oh.
Different people, the leaders of the Kojic and the,
Oh, right. The evangelicals. Okay. Okay. She doesn't know Africans actually did sell Africans to the slave traders. I'm glad you said that, because we were going to cover that. Maybe next week we'll do part 2. We're going to talk about that. I have found a good reference website with some good stuff, good information. Africans saw other Africans doing the slave trade. That's correct. Is a religious practice related to the 10 Commandments? No. And the reason why is because we just define what religion is, right? And based off of your definition of religion, right? The Most High never gave us religion. We have an observance to Yah's law, which is not religion. Under the definition of religion, they made observing Yah's law as a religion, but it's not. So, is a religion practice related to 10 Commandments? You can be religious and violate all 10 Commandments. Okay. A set of moral principles and standards we live by. That's correct. Religiously, a covenant. Okay, what do you think? So now, prayerfully, you see that word religion is not, but before we showed you that religion is in the biblical text 4 times, or was it 4 or 5 times? right? And each Greek definition wasn't a word religion. Now let's just do this for the sake of it, right? So if we go to let's see, if we go to etymology, let's see, uh, where is my shortcut for uh, American heritage? I thought I had it. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's see if this comes up here. I don't know why American Heritage Dictionary is coming up slow. There we go. So for religion, let's do it this way. I don't know why American Heritage Dictionary is slow. Okay. So by definition, this religious word from the English, a belief in reverence for supernatural power regarded as creating and governing the universe. Okay. So on the basis of this definition, that's why they classify the Hebraic covenant as a religion, but the Most High didn't class. He is the one who does the classification, not man. So man label it as a religion. Okay. But now what I want to show you in this here is the etymology. So this word religion, right?
Religion.
Okay. And religion is Middle English religium, right? So this comes from the Middle English religium, from Old French religion, from Latin religio or religion, perhaps from religare, to tie fast, right? This says see, rely. So we go here, click on rely. Matter of fact, if you see this link here, you can go to ahdictionary.com. That's AmericanHeritageDictionary.com. That's where we're getting this from. So it says rely, to depend for support, help, or supply. Relies on her parents of tuition, right? And so it's from Middle English reline, to rally, from Old French reliere, from Latin religare, to bind fast, religiare, to bind, right? Okay. So religion means to bind. Okay. It says see league, independence of Indo-European roots. So we're gonna look at this word here, league, L-E-I-G. We go here to European roots. In the index of European roots, we look up league, L-E-I-G. Okay, look at L-E-I-G. Let's see. Let's go to L. Okay, L-E-I-G. Okay, L-E-I, here's right here. L-E, so this is the root word. L-E-I-G, to bind. Oldest form, league, becoming in what did I say? Centum languages.
Next word, leech.
Okay. That's better now. I got to find back where I was. Gotta go back this way. Okay. So what was leech? Suffix lictor. From Latin lictor, lictor. League, legato, liable, liaison, liana, lean, ligament, ligus, ligate, literature, alloy, ally. Okay. So that's the root of this word, which means to bind. Bind could be negative or positive word, right? If it's taken on the form bond or bondage, meaning you can't get out of it, meaning you don't have no choice. So, right. So that's getting real philosophical. Let's see. I think that's it. I think I got it. Okay. Oh, I want to say something, right? Um, just kind of a little precursor for next week, right? In my notes, I asked the question, when was the term Christian first used, right? Because that's the whole analogy. When they find out that you embracing the Hebrew covenant and you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, they want to know, are you still a Christian? We had brother ask us that yesterday. I thought y'all was Christians. And I'm gonna read this little section here. This is a precursor. It says the term Christian was first used in 40 AD by believers in Antioch. Okay. I disagree with that. It was an AI response. It wasn't first used by the believers in Antioch. We're going to say why. It wasn't used by them. They was called by other people. It was used by other people, not by believers, right? But this is what I got this from AI. Term Christian was first used 40 AD by believers in Antioch, as recorded in New Testament Acts 11, 25 and 26. So let's test this out and see. Okay, right? Acts 11, 25 and 26. Let's go Acts 11, 25 and 26, and let's see what it says. Acts 11, 25 and 26. Then departed Barnabas to Tarsus to seek Shaul. And when he had found him, he brought him into Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with this is where he had church, right? Okay, what did the Greeks do? The word was called ecclesia. So where does the word church come from? All right. So let's continue because I can walk the dog on that. Explain church is not. Some Israelites still use the name church when they refer to the assembly, but church is the house of Circe. We can show that to you in the etymology of the word, which is the house of the Greek deity. Okay, now, and they taught much people, right? The disciples were called, okay, and utter an oracle that is divinely intimate by implication, right? Okay, bear as a title. So it says that the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. Okay? So they got the word Christianos. You can look that up. Okay. So AI said that the term Christian was first used by believers. It wasn't used by believers. They were called that by somebody else, given the title of being, and we're going to show you, because he kind of corrects it in this. Okay. The term was used to describe the new church, Circe, or the new believers, the new assemblies, the new mikros in the Hebrew, ecclesia in the English. Communities formed by Yeshua the Messiah's followers who were previously known as disciples. So he's saying that they were previously known as disciples, which we can see that, right? The word Christian literally means of Christ or belonging to Christ. By English definition, yes. But by etymology, we're going to show you no, it doesn't. It comes from the Greek word Christos, which means anointed one, and is derived from the Hebrew word Messiah. So the Messiah, that's why we say Yeshua the Messiah. We don't say Yeshua the Christ. And we got some Hebrew camps that still say Christ. That's because they're unlearned when it comes to that terminology, or they just choose to just continue to use it. Right? And there are plenty that still uses that, but I don't use it because it's because of the connection between Christ has nothing to do with the Messiah. It comes from the Greek. We're going to show you in a second. Okay. The term was likely first used as an insult by unbelievers in Antioch. So now he corrects himself. Right? He says it was first used by believers, but now he says the term was first used as an insult by believers in Antioch who mocked the disciples because their lives were so different from their neighbors. So it was a mockery. However, he says believers have since embraced the term and are proud to be known as Christians. Right? So the word Christian came about as being a mockery, is what he's saying, right? And later on they embrace it. Now they embrace it proudly, right? He said the term Christian appears a second time in the New Testament, Acts 26-28, where Paul the Apostle says to King Agrippa, "Do you think that in such short time you can persuade me to be a Christian?" It also appears in 1 Peter 4:16. Since the term has been embraced, there are false connections to the Messiah. To the Messiah. People believe to reject the term means to reject Yahusha. Okay? So when you say, people say, "Are you a Christian?" You say no, they think that means, to them, that means you're rejecting the Messiah. No, I'm not a Christian. Right? Okay. Now, by definition, let's do this real quick. Let's go back to American Heritage. And we'll do this and we'll close out. So this is kind of a precursor. All right, so go to this word Christian. First, let's do church first. And then we'll do Christian. All right, since we mentioned church. This is old stuff for me. This goes back 20 years or more. My research. Okay, church, it said a building for public, especially Christian worship. Okay, so it seems like the definitions is fine when you look at the definitions, but you got to go to the roots. Often church, the company of Christians regarded as spiritual body, a specified Christian denomination, Presbyterian church, a congregation. Public divine worship in a church, religious service goes to church as Christmas and Easter. Okay, all right. So now, here's where we want to go right here. This is the etymology right here. Middle English, kirche. See this word right here, chirche? From Old English, cerisi, right? Ultimately from medieval Greek, kyriakon. From the late Greek, kyriakon, doma, or the Lord's house. Neuter of Greek, kyriakos. Of the Lord from Kyrios, Lord, see, and so see K-E-U-E in appendix. So we're going to look at this word here, K-E-U-E. So go back to the appendix. Okay, K-E-U-E, K-E. K-E-U. Just give me a second here, K-E-U. That fan making noise. Okay. Keue, to swell, volt, hold, oldest, become in Central languages. Okay. Derivatives include cave, excavate, and church. To swell. And so it means to swell. Cave, codeine, cumulative. Here we go, right here. Suffix from curo, swollen. So it means to swell. Swollen, strong, powerful. Church, kirk, Kyrie, kermis, from the Greek kyrios, vocative, Kyrie, Master Lord, right? So you go to kirk. Scots, a church. Kirk, chiefly British Presbyterian Church of Scotland. Okay. It says from English Old Norse kirkja, from the Old English Cerisi, it says see church. Okay. Well, that's taking us back to where he was. Basically, so in the definition, church is actually the Cerisi. Okay. Now, to Christian. We'll wrap it up here. We'll wrap it up. Wrap it up. Christian. It says, professing belief, I'm going to read it just the way it is here, in Jesus Christ or following the religion based on the life and teachings of Jesus. Relating to or derived from Jesus or Jesus' teachings. Manifesting the qualities of the Spirit of Jesus, especially in showing concern for others. Relating to or characteristics of Christianity or its adherents. One who professes belief in Jesus as Christ or follows a religion based on the life and teachings of Jesus. One who lives according to Jesus. So by definition, this is what when a person hears Christian, this is what it means to be a Christian. But we look at the etymology. It says from Middle English, Christian, Christen, from Old English, Christine, from Latin, Christianus, from Christus, Christ, and it says see Christ. So now we're going to go from Christian to Christ. So go to Christ, and it says Jesus is considered in Christianity to be the Messiah. Okay? And it says the Messiah, Christ, from Old English, Christ, from Latin, Christus, from Greek, Christos, from Christos, anointed. Verbal adjective of Krian, to anoint. See Grey in the appendix of European roots. So we know this word here, Grey, Ghrei. With G.
I think it's Ghrei.
Mm-hmm. Ghrei. Here it is. HREI. To rub, odors from grayi, a variant of whence zero grade, becoming Satem language, dry in central languages. Okay. Extended from chrism, Christ, Christian, Christmas, cream, Kris Kringle, from Greek krian, to anoint. So you got, so this word is chrism, Christ, Christian, Christmas, cream, Kris Kringle. Let's look at Kris Kringle. That's Santa Claus, right?
Mm-hmm.
An alteration of German dialect, Kris Kindle, Christmas present, Christ kind, German Christ, from Middle High German, Christ from High German, Chris from Latin Christus, see Christ, German dialect Kindle, German kind, child, from Middle High German Kind. Okay? So Kris Kringle. So to be a Christian, you could be a follower of Kris Kringle. But I'm gonna show you something else. I have to be careful with this one because I had my original channel terminated when I shared this. Okay, remember when he said that it was, the term was likely first used as an insult to believers? Okay, let's highlight that there. I'm gonna show you what that means. Okay, so it says a person with cretinism, a person considered to be foolish or unintelligent, right? French Cretan, from Franco-Provencal, person with cretinism, formerly common in alpine valleys because of insufficient iodine in their local diet. From vulgar Latin Christianus, Christian, human being, poor fellow, from Latin Christianus, Christian, see Christian. So basically, this word Christian is connected to Cretan. That's why they said it was an insult, right?
And they were referred to in scripture as what? Evil. Did it say evil beasts?
Yeah.
Slow bellies.
Right.
Always liars.
Right. Right. So the term Christian, as the AI so eloquently put it, was in a term of an insult that eventually that they just embraced it and said, "Oh, we'll just take the new meaning of it. The new meaning that just means follower of Christ, who is the anointed one." But ultimately, it was an insult. It was an attack to call them foolish and unintelligent. They said these are unlearned men, right? They called Paul and all them, Peter, Shimon Kepha. They called them unlearned men, right? So that was a little precursor for next week. Next week we're going to continue along with we're going to talk about this papal bull, right? And we're going to talk about the Portugal, or the transatlantic slave trade, the Portuguese, who were the first enslavers of the chattel type slavery, okay? Because slavery existed. I'm going to read from an article next Shabbat, and we're going to get some scriptural references. So stay tuned and let everybody know. Come in next week. We're going to dig a little further on part 2 of why do many Christian apologists attack Hebrew Israelites. Okay, so part 2. So if that's it, you have anything you want to add and close out? All right. Father, we do praise you. Thank you for those that join us today on this live stream. Those who come later on. We pray that the peace of Yah that passes all comprehension keep our hearts and minds to Yahshua the Messiah. Until we meet again at the appointed time, we say hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
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 Toda Yah.
Toda Yah.
Amen.
Amen.